yes, they were married for 24 years. So if you add up all of the other marriages, they don't reach that sum. And Henry's father said explicitly to him as a young man, don't marry her. She's the widow of your brother. But as soon as his father had died, he was straight on with his proposal, and the pair were married quite rapidly.
Henry VIII is more associated with beheadings and breakups than loving gifts, but one of his offerings has been saved for the nation just in time for Valentine's Day. It's a solid gold heart-shaped pendant given to Catherine of Aragon. The British Museum has secured its future at a cost of £3.5 million. Rachel King is the curator of Renaissance Europe at the British Museum, and she's been working on the pendant for years. Rachel, a very good afternoon from us. Paint us a picture. What does this Tudor heart look like?
Good afternoon. Well, I hope you've been able to see it in the galleries, but if not, it's a collar length necklace, a bit like a choker, suspended from which an enormous golden heart. It weighs in total about the same as a can of fizzy drink, and the heart pendant itself the same as an egg.
Right.
It's absolutely stupendous.
It's quite a heavy heart then.
It certainly is a heavy heart, but we're quite lighthearted today because we've had this super good news about having reached our fundraising target.
So tell us about the money. I mean, what would have happened to the pendant if the money hadn't been raised?
So according to treasury legislation, which was brought in 1996, if a museum or interested body can't raise the reward, which is to be given to the finder, the object's returned to the finder, and the finder can then do that which they please. They could have it for their dog to wear as a collar if they wanted, or more often than not, it goes for sale, perhaps at auction.
Who was the finder?
So it was found in 2019 on Friday the 13th by Mr. Charlie Clark, metal detecting near to Birmingham.
Gosh, what a day that would have been for him. Did he know immediately what kind of importance was attached to the find?
He says he didn't initially recognise it as being Tudor itself. He knew he'd found something very big and very, very blingy, but it was a couple of days later that he took it into the local finds liaison officer, and she says that she began shaking the moment she saw it, that she immediately recognised the motifs that link it to Henry VIII and his first wife, Catherine of Aragorn.
Why was it there?
Oh, well, that's a question I hope that we might have an answer to now that it's been acquired for the nation. We've been trying to answer some of the questions around its age, when it was made for, what type of person could have worn it. But there are some questions still outstanding, and that's one of them.
Okay, so I mean, it could have been in somebody's possession far more recently than the initial wearer of it. It's unlikely to have been in that position for 400 years.
Well, yes or no, we don't know the answer to that, but we do have a lot of scientific techniques that we can apply in the museum, and we can say that it was in the ground for a substantial amount of time because of the type of degradation that had happened to the surface. But you're right, did it go in Henry VIII's time? Did it go in Charles II's time? Did it go in Queen Victoria's time? At the moment, we don't have an answer for that.
It does remind us of something that I think history often makes us forget with regard to Henry VIII, that actually his marriage to Catherine of Aragon was far longer than his other marriages, wasn't it? And I mean, I've always liked to hope that there might have been some love involved in that one.
Well, yes, they were married for 24 years. So if you add up all of the other marriages, they don't reach that sum. And Henry's father said explicitly to him as a young man, don't marry her. She's the widow of your brother. But as soon as his father had died, he was straight on with his proposal, and the pair were married quite rapidly. There does seem to have been a lot of affection for one another. And even towards the end of the marriage, there are still very loving letters being written by Catherine, at least.
Okay, right. Well, I mean, I just hope that she had some happiness, because let's face it, I don't think an awful lot of his other wives did. Thank you very much indeed for telling us a little bit about that. If people do want to just have a gander at this extraordinary love gift, can they see it online as well as in the flesh?
Yeah. We've got wonderful pictures online, really high resolution 4K images, and it'll be more than a gander, it'll be a gape. It's such an astonishing thing.
Lovely. That's Rachel King, who is curator of Renaissance Europe at the British Museum. It's better than a box of black magic.
It is. I mean, to be fair to Henry, he kept the romance going. He didn't actually execute Catherine of Aragon. She was just under house arrest for the last couple of years of her life. I mean, it's lovely, isn't it?
What a guy.
Yeah, what a guy.